A little self-serving as integration is what we do, but I think you're going to see how things tie together quite nicely here. We'll start our agenda today talking a little bit about customer perceptions and what that means to businesses as they strive to deliver a better customer experience. And then we'll review the challenges that might be presented in today's environment. I've got a quick little demonstration for you, and then we'll move on to talk a little bit more about expectations, again, the cloud environment today and how that's impacting expectations, and what we talk about really important to this process is the integration lifecycle management concept, and then the Scribe way and how we might address those issues and concerns. So first off, perception versus reality. The Experts Bench, which is a marketing research firm, polled 500 CEOs. And the big question they asked those CEOs is, would you define your customer experience as excellent or good? Probably no surprise to anybody on the line that 70% of CEOs would say that their customer's experience was an excellent or good experience. That's their job. So they're constantly striving to deliver the best customer experience, to be competitive, and to maintain market share. So their perception is that 70% of their customers would say that they agree and concur that their experience is a good one. Probably a little more surprising is that when polling customers, only 8% of the customers agree that their customer experience is excellent or good. Now, I'm sure there are a variety of reasons for this discrepancy, but at the very top level, it's certainly alarming. So here we are going about our business thinking we're doing our job to the best of our abilities, and our customers are perceiving that they have received an excellent experience. Meanwhile, only 8% of them have. So that's a whopping 92% of our customers experiencing some level of dissatisfaction. And today, in this connected world, that's dangerous. Not only alarming, it's dangerous. Our customers have access to new and more opportunities in media for sharing their opinions, whether they be good or bad. And that opinion, it's not like the old Pert shampoo days, or when you tell two friends and they tell two friends. You tell YouTube and you've told a million friends. So we really, the concern over delivering what is truly an excellent customer experience is hot in everybody's minds today. And center to that is really dealing with customer information. Short story before we move on from this slide, really to illustrate the power of media in sharing one's experience. I think you've all probably heard of United Airlines and United Airlines breaks guitars, right? So a musician traveling on United Airlines looked out of his window on the tarmac only to see his really expensive guitar being tossed around by baggage handlers. When he arrived at his destination, went to baggage claim, of course, his guitar was broken. And for 9 months, he tried to get some satisfaction from United Airlines, calling customer service, getting rerouted, telling his story yet again and again, and got no satisfaction. At the end of this process, he told them, look, if you don't fix this today, I'm going to write a song about United Airlines and I'm going to post it on YouTube. In fact, he said I'm going to write 3 songs and I'm going to post it on YouTube. So if you Google United Breaks Guitars, you will see the song, very funny, made all kinds of news outlets, and I think they probably estimate 11 million viewers or something on that magnitude. So it's enormous and very funny, and he did get his just revenge. Now there are conflicting reports of what the impact of that is on United Airlines, but certainly it's a PR nightmare. And they had ample opportunity to provide the experience that he asked and asked and asked, and they just weren't able. They didn't provide a connected experience, so they weren't able to tie that all together before it became a problem. So it's no mystery that the best customer companies have all of the information they need with which to deal with those customers. They know who their customers are. They know what the history of those customers is with their company. They know their purchasing preferences, and they know how those customers want to interact with you. So we gather all this information, and all the companies that are doing this well collect this information, but there's a real big challenge with that information is it's an awful lot of data, and that data needs to be presented in a variety of ways to a variety of people at all kinds of different touch points or times. Now this chart's a little bit of an eye chart, and we'll look at it again later in our presentation, but I think as you orient your eyes to it, if you think about a customer life cycle, and a customer comes to us, they've been cultivated by marketing, so they come in as a lead, whether it's through inbound marketing, other website, or an event, but they're managed somehow in that by the marketing department, and as that's cultivated and reaches a point where it's marketing qualified and is due to be passed to sales, it moves over to a sales rep, and should do so in entirety with history, so that we can provide that tailored and customized experience for each of our prospects and customers. Once they've gone through the sales cycle, become an opportunity, and ultimately, hopefully, become a customer, now that information needs to be shared with finance and support. So we've got all of these functional business areas within a company dealing with that same one customer, but dealing with them in a different way. And today, it's very easy for a business owner to plop down a credit card and spin up an application. So getting best-of-breed applications to provide your workers in your department with the tools that they need to do their job is really easy. So in that inner circle, you can see a variety of applications. And in any company that you talk to today, if you look at your own company, you can probably list 5 to 10 apps that are being used currently to manage a customer across these functional business areas around their life cycle, from lead to customer for life. And the customer interacting with your support department may provide what is another lead for an upsell or a cross-sell opportunity, and the cycle continues. Couple that with the various points of entry and data points from that customer. They could call you, they could fill out a web form, they could tweet, they could post on your Facebook page or a LinkedIn page. All of these ways a customer has of interacting with your company, all of this data, all of these applications, and all of these knowledge workers in different departments, one customer. So that's the data challenge, and I don't mean to over-present it because I'm not really over-presenting it. It's pretty significant. So how do you build efficiency and effectiveness into that customer life cycle? We talked about that customer coming in as a lead, potentially through inbound marketing, marketing automation system, being cultivated to such a point or nurtured to such a point that they become an opportunity in sales. Salesperson will issue a quote to that customer. That might be a quote that comes along with the requirement for a purchase order and an invoice. Turn that into cash for your company. Or in a manufacturing scenario, bill of materials, manufacturing, shipping information to invoice. These are, again, all these different systems and processes, and ultimately customer service. So what do you need to know? How much do you know about this prospect? Is the prospect creditworthy? That's something that a sales rep would need to know, and a system that they're using to do their sales and opportunity management. While I'm building out my quote, can I see what items are currently in inventory? That won't do me a whole lot of good to quote something that's back ordered for 6 months. That could cause a competitive nightmare for me. So let me see what's available. This building materials, is this a manual process? What is the manufacturing lead time so I can set the proper expectation with my customer? If we were to do this deal today, when will that tell my customer when the product has shipped? I need to provide the appropriate insight to that customer so they can have those correct expectations. And do those support people know what this customer's history is with your company? They have to have all of this information at their fingertips to provide the best customer experience. So how are all the best customer companies doing it? Really quite simply, they're getting the right data into the hands of those knowledge workers at the point of their interaction with their customer in the systems that they use to do their job. You do not want sales reps to be accessing your ERP system just to see if somebody is creditworthy or to see their payment history. You want to deliver that information to a sales rep in their CRM system. At the end of the day, it's data that is king, right? So IBM does a wonderful job of these research studies and recently published this research study, Stretched to Strengthened. And they evaluated that outperforming organizations invest more effort in integrating and using that customer data to foster those customer relationships, whether it's to personalize their interactions or their communications with those customers, for segmenting and targeting, to develop content based on history, really personalized experience, leveraging that customer data is what will separate the good companies from the companies that are really struggling with this. A little interesting fact on the top right-hand side, and some may challenge that this is even larger percent, but 20% of time an average employee spends tracking down information they need to do their job. 20% is pretty significant. And like I said, in some organizations, I suspect that would be a much larger number. So if we could impact that 20% of time, give them what they need in the system that they're using, how much more effective could they be for your organization? So we do have a nice real live demonstration of the power of this integration in play. So I'm going to let it speak for itself, and we'll come back in just a minute.
This video will provide a brief demonstration of integrating Microsoft Dynamics CRM and Marketo. Marketo is being leveraged for marketing automation. As such, our new leads will originate here. In this case, we're capturing information from a lead form. You'll notice I have basic information around first name, last name, and email, but no company information. When I view this data inside of Marketo, I can see that same relevant information that I passed in. Now, what's happening in the background is we're leveraging Marketo webhooks to pass this lead record over to Scribe Online. There, we're passing it through a data enrichment service to bring back a much cleaner view of that customer. This way, we'll know what industry they're in, the size of their company, the revenue, etc., so we can better personalize and target that individual prospect. Now, when that lead is now synchronized with Microsoft Dynamics CRM, it goes through a little bit of logic. Is this record already a contact? If it is, simply link the two together. Is it already a lead? If so, link the two together. If it's neither a contact nor a lead, then it should go ahead and create a brand new lead record for that individual coming in through Marketo. So we can see on that new lead record some of the basic information that was captured from the Marketo and the lead enrichment. What we also see is that it tracks the Marketo activities back down to Dynamics CRM. This is very advantageous for your sales team or anyone who wants to do some reporting, as they can see what's already been done with that individual lead, and they don't have to do repetitive efforts with that same prospect. Now that your sales team has that data, they can then act upon it. They've seen that it's a marketing qualified lead, they can see the activities that have already occurred with it, and now they can reach out, qualify, and create opportunity data around that prospect. As opportunities are created in Dynamics CRM, the integration will synchronize them back to Marketo, so your marketing team can have a clearer view of the effectiveness of their campaigns without needing access to Dynamics CRM. By leveraging Scribe Online for this integration, you not only get a baseline integration from the starter packs that Scribe provides, but you also have the ability to expand, customize, and modify this integration as your business needs change when using these two applications. For more information around our Dynamics CRM and Marketo integration, or Scribe Online in general, please contact us at sales@scribesoft.com.
Excellent. So I think what you could see there, really important to note, that was just part of that customer's journey, right? So they came to us as a lead, they entered our marketing automation system, potentially filled out a web form with very minimal information, but the power of integration could leverage data services to augment that data and bring more information to both marketing and sales so that we could truly target and enhance that customer's experience, giving us a competitive edge. Full circle, it's important for marketing to spend their marketing dollars wisely. The 90s are long gone and we don't have blank checks anymore. So we've got to validate that the efforts that we're putting forth are bringing us the right quality leads. So full circle, need that information back from CRM once those leads have become customers, or if those leads have gone nowhere, that's equally as important so we can measure the value of that campaign and the investment in that campaign. The hub, of course, is CRM, and that CRM system sits between all those other systems within your organization. And those applications interacting with CRM might be on-premises applications, they could be applications in the cloud. In most cases, it's going to reflect a hybrid environment where we're seeing it in most companies today. So in this connected age, expectations surely change. So we talked early about expectations and perceptions. Well, those continue to evolve and they create additional challenges. because of the ease of the cloud and the ease of procuring cloud applications, there is an expectation that it's easy. There's an expectation that it's fast. There's an expectation that it's less expensive. These are things just inherent to what people have come to expect because of their experiences with the cloud. However, the difference is that the environment and applications can change quickly. That causes quite a head scratcher for IT. New SaaS applications can be easily added to the mix. If you bring in a new VP of marketing, he's likely used something else at his prior gig, and he's going to want to bring that application into your mix so that he can be most effective out of the gate. Application workflows need to mirror your business. No two businesses are alike, and we need to really get the processes and the workflows down to support what it is that you do and really improve and enhance your business processes. Applications need to be configured for your unique needs. Every business in every industry has a unique requirement, and those applications do need to be configured. So this does take on a technology project where people's expectations are that it is not. And then, of course, we do have the conundrum of having cloud applications, on-premises application, and as I mentioned, most of the time hybrid scenarios where companies will have some of each. And how do you tie that all together? So these are pretty lofty expectations. They're not insurmountable by any means, but we have to really understand what it is we're working with. We have to have a common language and a common understanding of what is involved. And at the heart of it, CRM projects themselves are a pretty risky business. Studies will show that at least 1 out of 3 CRM projects fail. And many studies will say 50% of CRM projects fail. So that number is a little bit fluid depending on the research that you're reading. But you can point to a variety of reasons for project failure, but ultimately at the end of the day, the question that is asked is, did the CRM project meet expectations? So we just talked about some of the expectations. So whether they're valid or not isn't relevant. It was an expectation. So it's important at the onset of one of these projects to consider all of these things in advance and have a plan mapped out about how to address it. How are you going to be agile to meet changing business requirements? How are you going to be agile enough to meet changing computing environments or application environments? What is your strategy around data and data integration? How are you going to get the right data into the right systems to the right knowledge workers so they can provide that better customer experience? These are all the questions that need to be asked at the front end of a project, not in a post-mortem. A solid integration infrastructure is a key component to having a successful CRM project. I will tell you one of the reasons that CRM projects fail is they never get out of their initial phase. And it's hard to get out of an initial phase if your users haven't adopted the system, and your users won't adopt the system if the data that they need isn't there. So really evaluating what the source data is, what systems impact, what your business process flow is. Do we have any data quality issues? Are we going to be creating duplicates? How can we avoid creating duplicates? Do we have limited data? What are the opportunities to augment or enhance that data so that we can improve our business processes? Do we need to transform that data as we're moving it between systems? Really evaluate all of those questions at the front end. A common approach to solving these integration issues would be custom integration, custom coding. I will caution you against it. There are lots of people who this is their go-to approach. However, it does impact your time to market and your customer satisfaction. And if we can't get out of that initial phase quickly and onto rollout, we're going to lose the attention span and the support of the organization for the project. So we really want to go to market with our project fully, with integration, with benefits for the end users so that the user adoption will be high and we'll get to those rollout phases. So we need to go as quick as we can. Other issues with custom code is it does not necessarily stand the test of time. You're going to have more expensive resources coding these integrations, and they're going to need to be available to make adjustments as adjustments are required. And as we looked at that environment picture earlier and talked about all the things that can change and change rapidly, adjustments are frequently required. So we want to caution you against custom coding as an approach. One second. I will tell you that one of the perceptions around custom coding is that it's less expensive. You don't have to buy software to deal with these integration issues. You have a resource potentially available, pay for that resource, they can deliver exactly what it is that you are looking for. And I will tell you, custom coded integration on day one of go live is perfection. It meets your needs exactly. But on day two, things can begin to change. And what most people fail to measure, they're looking at the short-term costs. We have to buy software that might be more expensive than the resource that we have for doing this coding. But the long-term costs, 90% of the costs of an integration project are in the maintenance of that integration. So they're not in that initial rollout of a data integration. It's in the years to come when you have to maintain the infrastructure, you have personnel changes, we have to make adjustments based on product deployments. We have to add applications. 90% of the costs for custom coded integration is well after go live. So make sure you're considering the long-term costs when you're making your decisions. At Scribe, we take a different approach in our view of a data integration. Most people come into a project thinking of it as linear. We consider it cyclical, right? An integration has a life cycle just like anything else. But if you think about your project, we will look at it on a straight line here for a few minutes. Integration between CRM and ERP is deployed and accepted. So at 0 hour, we're gone live and we're in good shape. 1 month later, sales wants to add some custom fields. I'm in sales and I add custom stuff all the time. So this is not out of the realm of possibilities in any way. Month 6, order data has stopped flowing. So we need someone to go in and troubleshoot that. What's changed in our environment that has stopped orders from flowing? And they'll need to make some adjustments. Month 8, sales wants to enrich the CRM data with industry data to improve prospecting. That's a good initiative. How are we going to accomplish that? Month 12, the lead integration developer resigns. We're going to hire a new developer, and they're going to have to start over likely because when you look at custom code, it's not easy to follow what the logic was of another developer. Month 18, new VP of marketing adds a marketing automation system. We talked about that. The CRM API was updated, and it's going to break the integration. These are all things that you have to consider. The timelines here, of course, were imagined, but these are all real things that will happen over the life cycle of your integration. So it's important to take an approach that allows you the agility to be able to react and regroup at each of these stages of your integration life cycle. So you can be efficient across all stages. You know, all integrations begin in this design phase. We need architectural help. With Scribe Solutions, there's low to no development fees. We have extensive resources available, templates, samples, and support. Scribe Solutions allow you to click to develop your integration. It's configured, not coding. We have a self-documenting interface, so new players can come in later and see what the logic was behind the integration, and adjustments are simple and easy to make with clicks, drag and drop mapping. Tools are collaborative, so as you want to bring in different resources to work on your integrations, you can invite new users into the mix, whether that's from a new application that you're using or a support resource. And there's a full set of debugging tools. You can deploy this in a cloud or hybrid environment. We have tools for building, testing, staging, and production. And you can reuse the maps that you create in Scribe products. We have unified integration management console, so everybody's looking at the same thing and able to manage all their integrations across the organization and applications. APIs and instrumentation to be able to extend your integration to other applications as they're added to the mix. And at the end of the day, visual, well-documented integrations that make it easy to adapt, support for custom fields, and updates as those attached applications that you're connecting to are updated by the vendor. So critically important, and I think if you can see through this, most people when they come in, they think of their integration as very linear. I have orders that need to be integrated with the back office. What are the requirements of order integration with the back office? Once it's deployed, they put it to bed. But it truly is a cyclical process. And most customers come in with that single integration requirement, and as they work with Scribe, understand that they can rely on Scribe to be the platform to deliver all of these various integrations across their applications. So Scribe, we are a data integration software provider since 1995. Since that time, we've amassed more than 14,000 customers. We have an ecosystem of trusted partners, which TAM Group, of course, is one, who really know our products and how to deliver comprehensive integration lifecycle management processes with your integration. We have two platforms, Scribe Online, which is our SaaS application, as well as Scribe Insight, and can cover the realm of data integration requirements, whether it's a simple data migration moving from CRM on-premise to CRM online, or ongoing data integration between applications, or replication of your data. Maybe you're in CRM Online and you want to replicate your data to a local database to enable your business analytics, particularly with users who might not be CRM users. We have a connectivity across a broad array and a growing list of applications. So, of course, the Microsoft Dynamics Suite with Dynamics CRM, GP, AX, and Nav. We're touching ERP applications, marketing automation applications, social collaborations, BI and analytics, and other technologies, whether it's CSV, text, SOAP, REST web services, etc. So a single platform that will scale and allow you to really meet your integration needs across all of your systems. And at the end of the day, we're looking to lower your cost of ownership, allow you to be nimble and respond quickly to changing environments, whether that be business environment or technical environments, allow you to respond to staffing changes and deliver a better customer experience. So back to the eye chart that we started with, I think having painted this picture, when you're building out your strategy, looking at each of these functional business areas and the systems that they use today, potentially, and tomorrow, decide on an integration strategy that will allow you to meet those needs as they evolve. That's all I have for you today, Allie. I think we can go to questions.
All right. We can just wait a couple of seconds to see if any questions pop up here because we don't have any yet.
All right. Well, as we're doing that, I'll say my final word on the subject would be, as in all things, as in even if you were deploying an application, one of the classic mistakes that people will make is to try to coin the phrase, boil the ocean. Don't try to do too much out of the gate. What happens is you have that extended project that never gets to fruition, and that leads to those watched expectations and the label of failure. Better to determine something small and attainable, have success with it, and move on to the next project so that you can have that expectation of success.